HawkTalk continues as Mike Hammett with you as we get ready to talk with Matt Abshire here. HawkTalk brought to you by Guerrero & Guerrero, proud to be the official law firm of the ULM Warhawks. Go Warhawks and go Guerrero. More with Coach Fed coming up in our final segment. We'll go take a look around the Sun Belt Conference, get you set for this week, and wrap things up, too, with a look at some of the other players and storylines within this ULM program. But visit with Matt first here, and a chance for him to go back home this week, take on the Cajuns on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Again, 6 on Friday, 2 Saturday, 1 Sunday. We'll also have tomorrow's game against Northwestern State over in Natchitoches, 6 o'clock. You can hear all of them right here on KMLB coming up this week. But Matt, welcome. Get a chance to step in here to Hawk Talk, and it's a little different than what we do post-game. You've been up post-game with me a couple of times, but you get an opportunity here today, this weekend, to go home and how many ticket requests have you had for this week already?
It's a good bit. I haven't really got all those ducks in a row yet to ask teammates for extra tickets, but I'm sure I'm going to have to do that sometime tonight and figure all that stuff out.
You have been, when I go to practice, and I haven't been out as much as I'd like to be out there, but when I've been out there, I mean, you are one of the voices you're constantly hearing at practice, and you are certainly a vocal leader amongst this bunch. And even last year, even you came in your first year, you were kind of that vocal guy being loud out there and kind of trying to get everybody going. What is it that kind of makes you be that guy? How did that come to be for you to kind of take over that role?
I think that's something that I've just always taken pride in. Any team, high school, junior college team that I've been on, it's just I've kind of accepted the role of people follow me. It's just trying really to lead all the guys in the right direction and get going in a good way and win a lot of ball games.
To help be in that catcher spot, too, to kind of take on that role, too.
For sure. It goes along with just accepting that role. Like, I'm dealing with the pitchers constantly. I see everything that's going on. It's just natural for me almost. Been catching since I was young. I've always been in that position, and kind of just older I've gotten, definitely just accepted it more and embraced the role of that and just gotten better at it.
Let's go back to those days when you were young and that you first put on that catcher's gear and everything that went into that. Just how did that happen for you, and just was that something you were excited to start doing at first, or did you just kind of grow into it a little bit?
Honestly, it was probably one of those deals where I wasn't one of the better kids on the team when I was younger, and they just kind of, hey, you go catch. You're not the shortstop. You're not the pitcher. You're not one of those guys. You just be our catcher.
Yeah.
And then just kept on going with that, started to love it, started to work at it a lot more, kept on getting better, and now we're in this position.
It gets you to college, man. Gets you to play college baseball and everything,
sir.
And that's always huge. But, when you were playing youth ball, I mean, what was your favorite outside of catching? When you had a chance, maybe got a day off, what'd you like to do? What position did you get to play outside of that?
Actually played short a little.
Okay.
I enjoyed that. That's another one of those positions where you're a leader on the field, and that's just always been natural to me. And fielding ground, like yesterday, we had an off day, and I was out at the field just fielding ground balls at short, just having fun with it. It's just something I find fun. And
you work with, like you said, you get to work with both sides of this. You work with the pitching staff. You get to see everything as it happens. Nobody has your angle looking out. Everybody's looking in, trying to make plays. This pitching staff and everything that's gone on, I mean, you were part of this group last year where, there were a couple of injuries, and it kind of caused it to spiral a little bit down the stretch, and the switch to the pod system this year. And you guys have had 21 different pitchers throw in a game this year, and I know some of them may have only thrown once or twice, but it's 21 guys. How difficult is that for you as a catcher to kind of know what each guy has and be able to know how they throw and what to anticipate back behind the plate?
I think we did a good job as a coaching staff in the fall. We knew what we're doing with the pod system. So even in our inter squads in the fall, it was this guy's throwing 2 innings, you're going 3, you're throwing 1. So that just catching all of those guys all throughout the fall, all those inter squad before the season started, just repetitive, all the bullpens that we catch, just learning each guy and figuring out what they need, where does my target need to be for this guy, and just learning that, and then talking with them after the game. Hey, did you like this? Did you like that? And it's just different things like that to help them be more in the zone and better for us.
Talking with Matt Abshire here, you have guys like Cam Barlow and Chipper Menard that the pitch clock's never going to matter for those guys with how fast they work. And you have other guys that, the pitch clocks change things. Some guys, they don't take as long as they used to. But as a catcher, what's easier to work with, a guy like Cam or Chipper or a guy that maybe has a little bit slower pace?
It's so awesome to work with the guys like Chipper and Cam that just get on the mound and go. I mean, that's comfortable for me because then they're in a rhythm, I'm in a rhythm, the whole defense is in a rhythm, and we're just going. Georgia State, they did a really good job of waiting till that 11-second mark to get into the box. So that was one of the adjustments we had to make there, and it kind of did mess with our rhythm. We're not used to that, so I think that's something we need to grow on a little bit more, is be able to adjust what the hitters are doing, and then we do that. But working with those guys, it's so fun. Just pitch, get it back, throw another one, just get into that rhythm.
Cam has been that guy. I mean, he's one of only 10 in program history now, 200 strikeouts in his career. He's been around forever. I call him Dr. Cam Barlow sometimes. He's part of the retirement home. I mean, but when he gets rolling on the mound like he did Thursday night, what is it that stands out to you about Cam and how he goes about his business on the mound?
It's so crazy because sometimes the days at practice, he's just kind of this lackadaisical, just getting his stuff done, being a good teammate, and all of a sudden he gets on that mound. It's just like it's a different Cam. Like that's what I saw Thursday. It was after that first pitch he threw it, I saw him locked in. I saw him. He was in that zone. He's gonna have a good day today. He's in that mindset of I'm better than you, and we're gonna go to work. And that we get that out of Cam. He's good every time.
Even Chipper Saturday, I noticed the top of the first inning, it was after Friday night, the disappointing 4-1 loss, just how loud the dugout was being, Chipper's tempo on the mound, how he was throwing, getting guys to strike out. Just how big is that when you get a pitcher on the mound that brings energy like Chipper can do sometimes?
It's honestly unbeatable from that standpoint of pitching and defense. He gets into that rhythm. He bringing that energy on the mound. Everybody can see it, even you're the dugout. You're one of the position players. The coaches can see it. They know he's locked in. It just brings that almost comfort to us as a defense that he's going to give us his best, so we're going to give him our best and just roll with that.
You get a chance to catch, and you go a couple different places in junior college. You start off at Panola. You end up at Pensacola State. You get a chance to come to ULM. Go through that path. How did it work out that you end up in Monroe and back in your home state at least after, I know Panola's just across the border, but still to go to Pensacola and then end up coming back home-ish here to North Louisiana anyway. Just how did that all go about?
It's actually really interesting. I'd actually talked to Coach Fed about this. We've talked about it a few times. He said he knew who I was at Panola, and then COVID happened.
Right.
And then so he said he didn't know where I went, forgot about me, whatever. And then get to Pensacola, have that year, whatever, and then that summer I don't have anywhere to go. I'm playing summer ball, looking for somewhere to go. I had 5 days to make a decision to go somewhere else, and at that point it was like, okay, I'm running out of time. Like I don't want to go there, but I'm gonna have to go there. And then it was like a Friday. Fed calls me. He's like, hey, I want to get you down here on a visit. Blah blah blah. I mean, yeah, but this needs to happen fast because I've got this decision to make. And then that next Tuesday, I think I had to make the decision on a Thursday for the other school. Came here on a Tuesday and then committed when I was over here because it felt like home, and so glad I'm here.
How this has worked out too, you come here and you get to play for a former college catcher in Coach Fed, and what he's learned about pitching over the years from being a catcher and some of those things too. Just what have you been able to pick up from him and learn from his experiences too as a college catcher?
I mean, there's so many different things. Breaking it down, like fundamentals of catching, he's taught me some things like that. Pitch calling, I've definitely learned a lot of pitch calling while I'm here. Honestly, the list can go on and on about things that he's helped me learn, or even like stuff we've discussed and we've picked up off of each other, just things like that. It's been great.
Last couple weeks especially, I've noticed at the plate, you seem like you're a little more locked in here. Not that you've never, not been, but, it just seems like you're finding the gaps a little more. I go back to Atlanta, the 2-home-run game against Georgia State, the Grand Slam, and go to the Grand Slam because it was right after a meeting on the mound. I've heard guys talk before, hey, after a meeting on the mound, first pitch is usually a fastball or something. Like, what were you looking there? What did you get in that at-bat?
Yeah, that was – honestly, got to give credit to the 5 guys that hit before me, because if they don't get a single, Blazer hits that double, then we get another – I'm never in that position. But I was going up there. Knew bases loaded. Knew they liked to throw off speed, runners in scoring position right there. Came off of that meeting, and then so I was naturally sitting breaking ball, and I'm in the box, and then I saw him dig in his glove, so that reassured that I was getting that breaking ball, and put a good swing on it, and the ball ended up leaving the yard.
And the way it left the bat, I think it was going anyway. Didn't hurt that you had the jet stream blowing out with
No
you,
doubt.
too. So,
No doubt.
But just that moment, too. I mean, you've hit a grand slam here before. You did it against Alcorn last year. What was going through your head going around the bases, man? Because, I mean, that's a big spot after Georgia State. You guys had a big lead. They erased it. They took the lead. What's going through your head as you're going around the bases?
Honestly, I can't remember. That was just one of those things where it happens and you just really enjoy being in that moment. Glad to be able to do it for your team and glad to get a win out of that game.
And now an opportunity here this week in Northwestern State tomorrow, the Cajuns this weekend down there. I asked you at the top about how many tickets, but how excited are you about being able to play back in your hometown and be there with, I mean, it's not just your own friends and family. There's going to be people in the stands that are probably going to recognize that name and kind of maybe like Coach Fed, they kind of lost track of where you were and then see you out there.
Yeah, it's one of those things where at the end of the day it is just another baseball game, but there is that element of knowing that I finally get to go play back over there. I've always wanted to play over there. I'm glad. I'm so glad that it's be able to be against them. But I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully we can go over there and play 3 good ball games.
You played on that field before?
I have. All throughout high school. You had summer games. Our high school team played there. I mean, it's played there a good time.
But you're from that area. There's a lot of guys on this team from that area.
Right.
For some of the guys on this team that haven't played down there, and I mean, Cam's played everywhere, but, you know, some of the guys that haven't gone down, what can you tell them? How can you kind of prepare them for the environment they're walking into this weekend?
It's gonna be fun. Fun is definitely the first word that comes to my mind. It's also going to be you gotta bring your A game in a sense of being locked into us because they're really good at creating that. Try to talk, get into your head, and once you get into your head, then they won. But it can be having to go over there and knowing that we play our game, we stick to us. Hopefully everything turns in our favor.
After you get done with all this baseball stuff, what's kind of in your head? Have you even thought about life beyond baseball at this point?
I have. I think what I want to do is sell insurance. That's what I'm majoring in over here. So I haven't really got far into it because
you're playing ball.
Right, exactly. There's no need to look that far into the future, but that's definitely a plan from after this to be an insurance agent.
You want to hang around the game? Do you see coaching as kind of something you want to kind of just – stick your toes in the water there a little bit too?
For the longest time, that's I'm going to be a coach. That's what I want to do. But I don't know. If it happens, great. I would love to do it. I love being around the game. I love being able to teach the game to other people. But if it happens, we're going to roll with it. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. But hopefully, I'm sure I'm going to be around the game for the rest of my life. It's something I love to do.
Absolutely. Matt, thanks for the time. Appreciate it. Been fun watching you, and best of luck here as you finish this thing out. And best of luck this weekend for sure.
Sir. Thank you.
Matt Abshire with us here on Hawk Talk, and we'll go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, a look around the Sun Belt Conference. We'll wrap it up with Coach Fed. It is Hawk Talk. We are live at Catahoula's in Monroe here on the Warhawk Radio Network from Learfield.